Frank Patterson is Senior Vice President of International Exploration with Annadarko, and he joins us here now to talk to us at the Oil Council's Africa Assembly. Frank, thanks for coming.
Thanks, Frank.
So Frank, we heard in your talk just now in the panel you just participated on that you spoke of the dawning of a new age in East Africa. Can you just explain what you meant by that?
Well, as I was preparing for the conference, I was looking for a theme. Last year I talked about the discovery process. And so this year I was thinking, okay, the panel is a very esteemed panel that I was on, a lot of experience. So how could I set the stage and talk about East Africa without really trumpeting any company? So I think the concept that I was really trying to go for was, before the Windjammer discovery, there were a lot of small discoveries on the coast. It was an area that was kind of not on the exploration radar. And the Windjammer discovery really changed everything. It was kind of like the dawning of a new age. And since then, we've seen somewhere in the neighborhood of about a 65% success rate in Newfield wildcats, which is stunning. And so I just thought it was apropos to kind of stick with the theme that talked about dawning, first light, and continuation of, the building of what could be, I think, a major energy hub for the world.
And in terms of where we're at in that gold rush stage, would you say that the gold rush is just beginning, or have most of the assets, the good ones at least, already been snapped up by the quickest players? Where are we in that process?
Yeah, if you look at the slides that I presented today, you'll see that initially there wasn't a lot of the land taken. Now a lot of the licenses have been taken by not just independents, but now the majors have come in a big way. I think that's two questions. One is, do people hold the acreage? And yes, a lot of the acreage is held. The next question is, does everybody recognize the potential, and will the ideas get drilled? And that answer is probably yet to be determined. I think that Mozambique is probably the Prosperidade area, the Golfinho Atum area are going to be at the upper end of the curve for the discovery process, but I don't think we're done. I think there's a lot of plays left, and it really comes down to the imagination of the explorers, the risk tolerance of the companies, and quite frankly, the technology that we're able to deploy.
Well, let's talk about Mozambique for a second. Obviously, Annadarko, one of the members of the consortium who broke open that play with the Windjammer. Would you just let us? What is your vision for the next 5-10 years of Mozambique? How big is this? What is it going to look like? What's it going to become? What do you see when you look in the crystal ball?
When I look out, I think what I see is a major LNG facility. We're going to start with 4 trains working with ENI. So we'll begin the LNG program with 4 trains, and those trains will come from Area 1 and Area 4, which is ENI's operated area. And then I see those trains blossoming into what might be one of the largest LNG projects in the world. Where we go from there, we're in the middle of an exploratory project. We probably have another year and a half worth of drilling. We're not the only ones drilling either. ENI's drilling, several other players are drilling, so I think there's still prospects for expanding this into something bigger. Up and down the coast, we think right now this part of Mozambique in particular is gas prone. As we go north into Tanzania and then into Kenya, where we're drilling today, we see the potential for oil. So what does this really look like in your crystal ball? It really comes down to what does the next 2 years of exploration drilling bring forward.
Okay. Now, Annadarko also have assets in West Africa. Do you want to talk a little bit about what you're doing over there, where you're active, what you're looking for there?
Sure. We've been very fortunate in West Africa as well. We have a wonderful field in Ghana called Jubilee. We have a great partnership there. The field is up to about 110,000 barrels a day. We're waiting on gas export facilities to allow us to ramp up. It's a tremendous field, world-class oil field. We've just recently, our partner Tullow, our operator Tullow, has been granted the plan of development for the tin complex, so we'll be working on our second FPSO. So Ghana is really a core asset for us. Then in Cote d'Ivoire, the rest of the Ivorian Basin, we're in the middle of an exploratory program, probably 3 to 4 wells in the next year. And then we're also still working Sierra Leone and Liberia in the Liberian Basin. The Cretaceous fan play, it's been a little bit hit and miss, but every well that we've drilled, we've learned something, and I think we're maturing our exploration methodology, and I think there's still a lot of discoveries to be made there.
And speaking about your exploration methodology, perhaps it's because of the success. You're involved in one of the biggest discoveries in the West Coast, Jubilee, and then on the East Coast, Windjammer. When I do these interviews, I often ask people, what's the company you admire most and why? And I think in the last 12 months, at least half of them have said Annadarko. So I was going to ask you, what is your secret? Some kind of is it just good geoscience at the end of the day? Is it technology? What do you put it down to?
Yeah, that's very flattering, and we appreciate people recognizing us, and we're very proud of that. I think when you look at the reason we're successful, and I get asked this question a lot, so I've actually kind of thought about this. First, it's the people. We have a tremendous staff. We have a very experienced staff, not just technically experienced, but we have a lot of people that have made a lot of discoveries in their career. And that really makes a difference. When you're looking at data, sometimes you see things other people miss because you have that experience. So that's the basis. Then we have a great technology team and a lot of technology at our disposal. Technology is a tool we use. It doesn't necessarily drive our process, but it's a critical tool. And then on top of that, we have a committed management team. Everyone from myself up through senior management, the executive committee, all are committed to exploration. It is who we are. We want to grow the company organically. And then, of course, we have the board of directors who are committed to exploration and very supportive. So it's not just one element. It's a significant number of elements. And I think, when you get into a exploration program and you get some momentum, what happens is success begets success. So I think we are doing really well with taking what we learn with every well and reorganizing our portfolio and drilling better things as we go. So it's very exciting to be there, actually.
And just to pull back and look at the continent as a whole, how important is Africa to Annadarko as a company? What kind of a sort of percentage, if you can put a figure on it? What's the importance of it now, and what is the importance of it going to be in the future potentially?
Well, from an exploration standpoint, we have one of the largest acreage positions in deep water. A lot of people don't know that, but we're a major deep water player in Africa. So from an exploration point of view, it's very important. From an operational standpoint, we have major operations on the East Coast now. We're in major field in Jubilee and a lot of operational opportunities in West Africa. But we don't talk about it very much, but people forget that we produce 300,000 barrels a day gross in Algeria. And so that's about 40%, approximately 40% of the production out of Algeria that the Annadarko partnership operates. And we're bringing on El Merk, which will add another 160,000 barrels a day, plus or minus. So, we have big production, we have big discoveries, and we have big exploration potential.
What are we looking out for in the next 12 months from Annadarko? If we're following your company, what are the catalysts? The catalysts, I think the most important catalyst is not specifically a well, it's not specifically a prospect we're going to drill. I think it's the portfolio that we've put together. Like I said, we have major producing assets that are growing. We have multiple discoveries that we're moving through the sanction process, specifically in East Africa. And then we've assembled a really strong exploration program underpinning that, not just in Africa, but around the world. And it's not just 1 year or 2 years. We've just picked up major positions in South Africa, major positions in Colombia. So we continue to grow this exploration portfolio. So if I were to say what is the catalyst is there's very few companies of our size that have this opportunity ahead of us. And Frank, before you go, what do you get out of coming to events like this? What does it mean for you?
Besides being interviewed on camera?
Besides being interviewed. Or were you dragged here under
I wasn't dragged under duress.
Okay.
I guess the most important thing I get is perspective. We have a tendency to really get into our properties, into our portfolio, into our business model, and being able to take a couple days away from the office, talk to other senior officials in companies, talk to other people from outside, the actual operating industry, you get a different perspective. Here at the Oil Council, the other thing that's nice is we get to talk to a lot of the National Oil Company representatives, and we get to talk to the ministries outside of an actual technical meeting. And you get to know people, you get to get a different perspective, and you get a feel for what the industry's thinking.
So it's Frank Patterson, Senior Vice President, British National Exploration at Annadarko. Thanks for coming.
Thanks, Drake. Appreciate it.